There aren't many more controversial figures in American history than Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson was president from 1828 until 1836, and he's going to be responsible for a number of different terrible things in the country. But first, a little bit about his backstory. Andrew Jackson was one of our first, actually the first Western president. He's not of the founding generation. He's the seventh president going to be elected. And really part of the reason that he gets elected is because of his background. He was from Tennessee. Well, he's going to eventually be part of Tennessee. He's going to be a self-trained lawyer. Eventually, he's going to be a judge and then a governor. He tailored himself as an Indian fighter, which is not a great term we'd use today. And the people that saw him in the 1820s knew him as a war hero. Remember going back to the Florida situation, also the Battle of New Orleans, and the War of 1812. So he's got this big personality. People saw him as a hero of the common man. And because he's the hero of the common man, people are going to, the sort of the common man person is going to vote for him, which is important because we can see the impact of westward expansion now on presidential politics. Right. As the country is expanding into the West, we have more states being developed, right? Which means there's going to be a new electoral college advantage for those Western states. We can see that as more Western states are added, the land is so cheap that more people are able to own land. So the land requirement is going to be removed from the suffrage rights. So what we are entering into is what's referred to as the age of universal white male suffrage. The idea that all white men were able to vote because of the removal of that suffrage requirement of having land. Now, the problem is that at the very same time they're making universal white male suffrage more prevalent, more universal, they're actually stripping that right away from African Americans and other groups. So this is actually a very anti-democratic sentiment. And one of the reasons has to do, again, with westward expansion. As the states are moving into the West, those southern states want to expand and protect their ability to own slaves and expand that slavery system. So here are some of the issues that are going to be important. Native American relations, right? Because as they're expanding in the West, they're going to be bumping into those Native American tribes. And we're going to see that this is going to be a big deal in the Jackson administration. The bank and giving out loans for all of that cheap land out in the West, the bank's going to be important. And we're going to see how sectionalism plays out under the Jackson administration here as well.